Welcome to Mental Health Breakthroughs for Young Adults and Families. I'm your host, Carey Conley. This podcast is dedicated to helping young adults navigate through the challenges and learning curves that they're experiencing in every area of life. My personal episodes will be dedicated to helping you with getting clarity, direction, moving through adversity, and living with purpose and hope. I will also be bringing you amazing guests to discuss topics such as finances, career choices, relationships, grief, addiction, positive mindset, mental health, and more. I am on a mission to help you live a life that you love and have the confidence to go after your dreams. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Mental Health Breakthroughs. I'm Carey Conley, your host, and I'm going to teach you something today that I have taught to thousands of people of all walks of life, different ages, backgrounds, seasons of life, all the things. And it's kind of an elementary thing that I've taught people, but it works. And it works so well because a 5-year-old could do it. And I've taught it to 75-year-olds, and it works for them too. So I know that I've said to you guys many, many times that my tagline is called Vision is Victory. And the reason I use that as a tagline is because I know that when you have a clear vision, there are a lot of things it helps fix. And one of the things I talk a lot about, most especially when I'm talking to people about their career path or building a business or their field, is that when you have a really clear vision that is a little bit further out in a timeline, and I like to use 3 years, it helps you do what I call reverse engineer the game plan. So follow along with me. So it's kind of a funny story how this happened. When I first started speaking at coaching, one of the people that I first coached was my best friend out of college, who was at a crossroads in her career. She'd done really, really well, but she was wanting to change directions and she didn't really know what she wanted to do. So we were over the phone, because this was way before Zoom, and I said to her, can you draw on a piece of paper what looks like a funnel to you? You know, big circle on the top, cone on the bottom. Right? So you can get that visual. And what she said to me was, well, mine looks like an ice cream cone. And I said, you know what? That is way better, because who doesn't like ice cream? So here's the visual that I want to give to you so that you can now understand what I mean by reverse engineering your game plan, so that every day you are working intentionally towards the vision and it doesn't overwhelm you. So imagine that your circle on the top, your ice cream scoop, your favorite flavor, is that 3-year vision. In every area of your life, what you see your lifestyle looking like, where are you living, who are you spending your time with, what's your family life like, what is your career going to look like at that point, your finances, fun, all of the things, right? This is your big, beautiful 3-year out vision. So once you have that, it's easy now to break it down into shorter time frames. So when you've got your cone, what you're going to see is a line about a third the way down into the cone, and then another line halfway through, and then another line a third away up from the bottom. So what happens now, friends, is you've got your 3-year vision. That first line down becomes your 1-year goals. 1 year from now, what are your goals that you see in all those areas of your life? The midpoint line, it becomes 6 months from now. And if that's 6 months, that third line towards the bottom becomes your all-important 90-day goals. And I stress that because I have people, when I do these workshops, literally circle the 90-day goal line. Because most of us, I feel like, can get really focused for at least 90 days on some very specific goals. So I get focused in on the 90 days. And then after the 90 days, I can now break it down into, okay, if this is where I'm going to be, let's say the end of July, where am I going to be focusing on this month? And then if I know what the focus is for the month, it helps me focus in for the week, for the day, even hour by hour. And so what happens here when you do this, my friends, is you kind of change the trajectory of how you're managing your day that most people are doing. What they're doing is doing a lot of busy stuff that looks like you're moving the needle forward, but you're not really getting anywhere because it's not attached to your path. Your goals from 1 month to 90 days, 90 days to 6 months, 6 months to 1 year, to that big, beautiful 3-year vision. And it's pretty magical, actually, because I think the reason so many people get overwhelmed with even thinking 3 years out, 5 years out, 10 years out, is a lot of the dreams that you might have might be things that are totally different than where you are at this point in your life. And going back to my best friend, when we were doing this, she was wanting to change careers. but didn't know how, didn't know what, didn't know even how to, take some baby steps in a different direction. So what we did was we started writing out what kind of lifestyle she wanted to have 3 years out. What she was wanting was to unplug from the corporate world, stop traveling 32 weeks out of the year, move back home to be close to her family, her brothers, her nieces and nephews, aging parents. She wanted a lot of flexibility in her life. So we started noodling some ideas of what that might be, what could possibly interest her and fit that lifestyle. And one of the things that we talked about was her maybe going into the real estate industry, but she knew nothing about it. All right. So this is my point. It can get so overwhelming when you start thinking about changing directions, especially if you're a little bit older like me, and not knowing what that looks like, no clue. And instead of taking some baby steps, just getting totally shut down and not moving in any direction. So with that big vision of what the lifestyle looked like for her, noodling some ideas that might fit that lifestyle, coming down to 2 or 3 different ideas, taking a baby step for her just meant finding a realtor in the town that she wanted to live in, taking that realtor out to lunch and simply asking, what is it that you do every day on a daily basis? How did you get started? What is your day in the life of being a realtor look like? Because out of that baby step, one simple thing in one day, it was a decision-making thing for her. Either it lined up with the vision and she could create a game plan out of that, or it didn't. And so she chose that path. And I use this example just, like I said, just as an example of so many things that you can break down into bite-sized goals, totally reverse engineer the plan so that today, just today, can you just take one little baby step in the direction of the bigger vision that you have for your life? I want to keep encouraging you to listen to this message afterward. Listen to how you can become a part of my community, and I always appreciate you listening to this episode.
Design the life you've always dreamed of with Viva, Vision is Victory Academy. Join us and discover how to transform your vision into victory. Whether you're seeking clarity, resilience, or a path to personal growth, Viva is here to guide you every step of the way. Don't wait for life to happen to you. Make it happen with Viva. Sign up today at visionisvictoryacademy.com and take the first steps towards a life of purpose and passion. Your future self will thank you.